NASA's Psyche spacecraft, equipped with a deep space optical communications tech, aka laser, has achieved a groundbreaking milestone by successfully transmitting data from over 140 million miles away using this laser. This achievement, which includes sending ultra high definition videos and engineering data at an unprecedented speed, marks a significant advancement in deep space communication technologies. Such capabilities pave the way for more complex and faster data transmission, crucial for future missions, including potential human trips to Mars. This is amazing. I have some background in laser transfer of data. Wow, what a way they have come. That and many, many more stories tonight. You're listening to Geek News Central, episode 1741, coming to you this Monday, April 29th. I'm your host, Todd Cochran. A big shout out to our primary sponsor at GoDaddy.com. Grab their deals. Grab those deals at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. And to all our awesome listeners, you're the real MVPs. Contribute your time, talent, or treasure at geeknewscentral.com/insider by becoming a GNC Insider. We are live, lit and live, and on all those new modern podcast apps from podcastapps.com. Join our value for value movement by downloading and using a modern podcast app. Of course, we want you to dive into the digital hub. All you got to do is get over to geeknewscentral.com. Go over there and check out the website. Of course, don't forget to check out our partner shows. They're all linked there as well. Get on board and don't forget to follow or subscribe via favorite modern podcast app. Sign up for the newsletter while you're at it. Of course, you can always join the chat room at geeknews.chat. Do you have feedback today? It's real simple. geeknews@gmail.com, at geeknews on Twitter. Of course, you can catch me on Facebook as well. And again, a massive salute to our primary sponsor, GoDaddy, the longest running continuous sponsor of a podcast anywhere, supporting this show since July of 2005. I want to thank GoDaddy for their ongoing long-term support of this podcast. And I want to thank all of you for your ongoing support of them as a sponsor as well. Make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com/insider. Grab one of the deals. Savings start here. This is the place to go. $11.99 for a new domain name, or $6.99 a month economy hosting, or $12.99 a month to manage WordPress hosting, or a free trial of GoDaddy website builder. Of course, your choice of personal, business, or business plus plans. That's a 1-month free trial. The economy hosting and managed WordPress hosting, that comes with a free domain name. Yes, you get the hosting with a free domain name, professional email, and an SL certificate for each of those types of accounts. So make sure you get over to geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy. Savings begin there. Again, we definitely appreciate all of you that support the sponsor. If you're new to the show, take your time. Go over there and take a look around. It's time to put something in place. Start a blog, start a podcast, start an online business. They've got all the services you would need over there to really build your empire, build your brand, build your business on your own.com. Don't build it on some third-party site. Don't go and build a community on Facebook or on X or anywhere else, because you never know when a business is going to change and you are just going to be left hanging the bag and really not having a presence on those platforms anymore, where you will, if you have your own .com, you have your own website, you have a place to call home. Moonbase Alpha is here. GeekNewsCentral.com is Moonbase Alpha for this show. And again, we've been doing it right for many, many years, and so should you. So definitely get over there to GoDaddy. My pleasure. And thank you for GoDaddy for supporting the show. Thank you for your ongoing support as listeners as well. Hope everyone's doing well. So just as a reminder on the schedule, this show will be the last show for a week and a half. I leave for the Philippines to go to PodFest Asia Thursday. And I will be back. Basically, I'm staying essentially the whole week, largely because I'm going to be working at the same time as I'm going to be visiting, and I'll be taking care of the show that I'll be going to. In fact, I was working on a presentation today for about 3 hours. So be on the opposite side of the world for a little bit, and then no show until I get back on the 13th. So the next show after this one will be Monday the 13th. So essentially, whenever you may listen to this, which will be today or tomorrow, probably the majority of you. Again, no show Thursday, no show next week, and you can stay abreast of what I've got going on via Facebook or anywhere else. But yeah, so heading over there, speaking and meeting with podcasters. First global conference that I've ever done in all. Well, actually, not. They went to Saudi, right? So I guess that was the first global conference. So second global conference. So it'll be good to be over there and talk about podcasting to those creators in the Philippines. So hope everyone's doing well, and glad you're here with me today. And I tell you, I'd seen this article, and I had not paid too much attention to it. And it came up again today about this remarkable feat that NASA did. Now, if you think what Elon Musk is doing with Starlink and doing laser data transfers in between his basically all of his satellites up there, that's pretty well known. That's been well talked about, and he talks about the speeds and gigabit speeds and just huge data transfer speeds, because they're relatively close, and it's very, very simple. I really can't go into too much detail on what I know about laser and data communications, but I'll just say this: I have a little experience in it. And this article talk about how they transmitted data from over 140 million miles away, or 226 million kilometers, which is equal to the distance of 1.5 times the distance between Earth and the Sun. And they downlinked about 10 minutes of duplicated spacecraft data during a pass on April 8th. Until then, they'd been sending test and diagnostic data. The laser communication that employed in this demo is designed to transmit message from deep space at rates of 10 to 100 times faster than the current state-of-the-art radio frequency systems, and radio frequency stuff is pretty slow. On December 11th, though, the experiment achieved a maximum data transmission of nearly 267 megabits per second. Now, that's a number, right? You think about it. And this was accomplished when the spacecraft beamed 15-second ultra-high definition video from Earth, which was at the time only 19 million miles away. This time, the spacecraft transmitted test data at a maximum rate of 25 megs per second. That's better than I get here, or at my house, I'm sorry. 25 megs per second, far surpassing the project's goal of at least 1 meg. So you think about this. They did a laser interconnect, basically lasers sending data. You're not talking, but you're receiving, I'm assuming. I don't know if they've got it going both ways at this point, but definitely they got this downlink at 25 megs a second. You can transfer an incredible amount of data off a spacecraft when you are pushing media at that velocity. And I think this is pretty amazing. Now, they did say in a recent turnaround experiment, the project relayed test data in digital photograph back to it, and then back again. So they sent data to it. Oh, so they did. They sent data and received same data. Sent a picture of a cat. Why would they do that? That's kind of dumb, but I guess that's what scientists do. But the future looks pretty bright for deep space communications, and Mars, in some cases is not that far away from us, and sometimes it's a long ways out as well. But wow, awesome, really, really awesome what they are able to do here. And that's not to mention that if they ever had to just put in some relay station or something to that effect. So pretty exciting stuff, and I just thought it was worthy to think that a moving spacecraft was able to beam data back. Now, if you think about that in a relay situation, if you're on the ground and you're not really obstructed, you think you could have a ground station that could send data up to a satellite. The satellite then could be a repeater and send it back to Earth. So it just makes for all kinds of interesting ideas. Now, the power required, I don't know what's required, but let's say that we were ever to do something again that was going to send some spacecraft way out deep. There would be the ability to potentially laser data back from deep space. So again, very, very cool. And link will be up in the show notes for you to review. Mercedes-Benz will not let Apple take over all of its screen. Now, Mercedes has a new dashboard that has more than one screen. And some cars are starting to have that now, right across the dashboard. But basically, they're saying that Apple cannot have its immersive next-gen version of CarPlay employed on the platform. They said that in response to a question about whether Mercedes-Benz will enable Apple CarPlay to take over all screens inside its vehicles, he tells the need for a holistic software architecture that meet the needs of customers are increasingly looking for a better technology experience from their vehicles. In other words, Mercedes saying, we can probably do it better than Apple, and we're not going to let them see our screens. I'm sure it's a lot to do with design and look. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it, not necessarily more functions. The Google Play Store supposedly now makes downloading multiple apps a lot faster. You can download 2 apps from the Play Store at once. So this new feature is spotted on various devices, including Pixel phones, starting on Android 14. Now, while apps can be downloaded simultaneously, updates usually occur one at a time, though this could change in the future. So that's even an annoyance on iPhones. We download one app at a time. Meanwhile, NASA seems to be getting a little nervous. They're seeking inputs on space tech shortfalls. And I find this as an interesting comment because he says the agency has released a list of 187 tech shortfalls. The shortfalls are in 20 areas, ranging from space transportation, life support, power and thermal management, etc. Through a website, the agency is inviting people to review the listed techs and rate their importance through May 13th. NASA will use that input to help prioritize those technologies for future investments to bridge the shortfalls. Now, this is part of an effort by the Space Tech Mission Directorate to provide a more rigorous approach to how it supports tech development. NASA's gotten to a battle rhythm with stakeholders where we are setting our priorities more in the space of activities that we're engaging in and not initially about the problem of space, the problems they're solving. So this is what I really kind of blew away. The old approach, he says, runs the risk of turning NASA's space tech program into a hobby shop. He said, subject to the whims from policymakers. That's the wrong focus. And this is one of the things that I have done at my company. I come up with all kinds of ideas, things that I think would be cool, but we go through a whole vetting process of those projects. And is it a hobby project? Does it add value to the bottom line? Does it add a feature that has been well requested? So just because I want something doesn't mean I get something. So I understand exactly where they're coming from, but it's amazing that NASA is going to go through this process to say, okay, here's where the rack and stack is of things that we should focus on and things that should be, maybe looked at. So I'm just pretty amazed. I really am that they're actually going to go out to the public. But are they actually going to go out to stakeholders, or are they making this available to everyone? It wasn't completely clear, but I find it to be pretty remarkable, to be honest with you. What say you? geeknews@gmail.com. Kaiser Permanente data breach impacts 13.4 million patients. Yep, here we go again. Kaiser Printing said trackers previously installed on its websites and mobile applications may have transmitted personal information to third-party vendors, Google, Microsoft, Bing, and Twitter when members and patients access websites or mobile applications. In a statement, Kaiser Permanente said exposed information may have included IP addresses and terms users search for in health encyclopedias. Information could indicate a member or patient was signed into Kaiser Permanente Counter Service, showing how member or patient interacted with and navigated through the website or mobile application was also compromised. No usernames, passwords, social securities, etc., just what you search for, the health tech that you search for. So here we go again. Amazon's patting itself on its own back. It says, hey, their deliveries are getting even faster. It delivered over 2 billion items the next or same day, primarily during the first 3 months of 2024, breaking its record for 2023. Should not be a surprise here. All right, hey, for those of you that are insiders, we want to thank you so much for being insiders. And, of course, Michael P. and Kirk Corliss, your $5 Ohana donations are greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for your ongoing support of the show. And then I did fail on the last podcast to read a few emails that had come in. I want to matter of fact, we'll do this right now. Pest Merc, thank you for sending me your fountain address. He says, I'm first, Todd. Start sending me sats. I appreciate it. And here's what blows me away about this. I've gone back and listened to all of your podcasts from the beginning during my brain tumor recuperating time. It's been so interesting to me to listen to all the changes in tech. And this is from Brad. So, Brad, I'm blown away that you went all the way back. And that's some listening, my friend. I think we did the math on our annual show, and it's many, many days. Did you listen to those in like continuous settings, or did you take a little bit here and a little bit there? I'm kind of curious what your listening rate was, and that to me just is like, wow. So yeah, we'll get you. I don't think I can do it right here live, but I've got your email. You get 50,000 sats, my friend. Thank you for requesting some. And if I missed anybody, because I thought there was one that came in that I may have missed, let me know. And Bob, I know you gave me some feedback on the Fountain app. I think what it is, and I don't know how they prioritize who they give sats by listening. I'm talking with this Fountain folks, and we're going to get something together where there'll be some incentive. Definitely the sats back thing is coming, but Bob, I know you sent me a long feedback and exactly what they said. He says, how earnings on Fountain work. He says, 1, likes get paid by the listeners when they like your comments, clips, or playlists. Promotions get paid by podcasters for listening to promoted episodes in your home feed. The rate is set by the podcaster. That I haven't figured out how to do yet. Reward, get paid by Fountain for listening to podcasts. Every day, regular listeners have a chance to earn rewards. Your rate is assigned at random, and you have an equal chance of earning either 10, 20, or 30, 60 minutes. You may not earn every day. Okay. And it goes on to say, if you've gone several weeks without earning or seeing promoted episodes in your feed, follow the troubleshooting tips. I know you went through that. And he said, today I actually earned 2 sats per minute, but only for the first 10 minutes. This is most I received just before they added the sponsor pop-ups. I'm pretty disappointed in their new earning model. And if they're giving away sats, it could be, they're getting pretty big. So what it could be is purely a financial thing on their part where they're randomly giving different amounts because I know that the app's getting pretty popular. So to fund that could be, in the hundreds of dollars per day or more, I would assume, especially with the way that crypto is up in price. So I don't know if that's what drove it or not. Also, Keith didn't like, he said, hey, Todd, been listening for years. And the thing that drives me nuts is the way you pronounce Meta. Pronounced the E as in egg. Meta. Meta. I thought I'm saying meta, right? Not an A in made. Meta. All right. To me, it sounds the same. I'm sorry. So thanks, Keith, for your feedback on my utilization of the word meta. There was another word that drove this audience kind of crazy for a while as too. And I'll read one more comment and we'll get back into the stack of content. Andrew sent me an email saying, "Hey, Todd, some comments on the TikTok situation. Well, I've no doubt that Facebook and Twitter/X are delighted to see TikTok in trouble. I think the big problem with all these social media companies that the algorithms, that's probably one of the words drove people crazy, are secret and that it's difficult to confirm or deny any accusation of bias. In the pre-digital era, it was understood that which newspapers lent to the left and which lent to the right. It was subtle. They nailed their colors to the masthead. The issue today is that there's no transparency. I think social media companies should be required to submit their recommendation engines to independent bodies for review. I don't know how we police that. Police the submitted algorithm is the one that used the app, but I think it would be an important first step. Well, first of all, Facebook is not giving up their algorithm. Twitter's not giving it up. None of these social media companies are giving up the algo because all of us would do everything we could to beat the algo. He goes on to say, but what I do know is that anything pro-China is likely to be good for the West and that the elections are being decided on wafer-thin majorities. It only requires a little bit of subtle meddling for China to advance the goals, and we need to be very careful of outside interference. If TikTok's part of the interference, we need to move against it. And thanks, Andrew, for your email. And Andrew's outside of the United States, so he's got a little bit different perspective than others, and I appreciate that. You know, I really, in the end, I think that we know, and there was and I forget the movie. It was a year or two ago, something to do where it talked about social and how they were manipulating us, and it kind of took a poke at Facebook and others. But anytime we're on a social media network, we are being fed what they want us to see. That's just pure fact. Doesn't matter if it's X, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. They're feeding us a feed of data that's why you don't see your friend stuff. That's why you have to go look. If you have friends that you're like, oh, I wonder what happened to John. Well, you have to go type John's name and look at what he's posted on Facebook because they never surface that to you because they don't want you to see what John is posting. You know, during pandemic, they're real good at posting stuff that we definitely didn't want to see in our feeds. So we never get what we follow. Now that's the difference with Mastodon. You only see who you're subscribed to and some of the comments surrounding the people that interact with those individuals. So that's the big difference between those platforms, and that's why everyone here should feel free to create an account at geeknews.chat. It's a more pure, and I unfollow people on Mastodon all the time. They start posting memes and that kind of stuff, but I'm not getting an adulterated algorithm that's feeding me stuff that I don't want to see or they think I should see. But yet at the same time, when it comes to any of these social networks, I think personal accountability, again, remains critical. And I don't like the government messing with them telling me what I can and can't watch. Surprisingly, the TikTok crowd, I think it's going to hurt TikTok tremendously regardless, because the TikTok community is not complaining about this bill. They're a good little sheep. They're following, and I think I think TikTok will just pull out. They're going to fight the court battle, but I don't think they're going to win. Not the way this legislation has been written. So time will tell on where that goes. Anyway, thanks for the feedback. You're all great, Ohana, here at Geekness Central. Let's go ahead and move on. A little bit of a hit piece on Apple. Apple's under fire for not taking down fraudulent apps despite ongoing complaints. There's a dodgy impersonator on the App Store. It's basically Rock Auto, a parts car dealer. Someone duplicated their app, but yet they're doing all kinds of fake stuff on it. serving ads and all kinds of stuff. And Rock Auto told Apple about it, and it's been several weeks, and Apple's done nothing. So Rock Auto's pissed off that Apple's not, not paying attention to someone that is, basically pretending to be something they are not. And it's probably something that needs to be watched very closely if Apple's losing, not doing a good job of getting rid of this stuff when it pops up. Denial of service attacks are becoming a weapon of geopolitical conflict. DDoS saw a rise of 15% in the second half of 2023, thanks to the increased use of hacktivist groups reacting to geopolitical issues. During a denial of service attack, the perpetrator attempts to overwhelm the target servers or network infrastructure by sending overwhelming amount of internet traffic. This weekend, even my company, we had a group that were trying to do SQL injections all weekend. It caused a little bit of havoc, and we had to take some proactive actions on Sunday. But denial of service attacks have happened from 214 countries against 456 industries and over 13,000 autonomous systems. So it's just crazy what's going to continue here. And I think it's going to get worse with AI. The U.S. Post Office had a phishing site. Basically, someone put up a fake site of the U.S. Post Office. The phishing site saw almost as much traffic as the real website. During the holiday season, the fake site got even more traffic. Crazy. Fake U.S. Postal Service website designed to steal people's sensitive information and payment data through phishing got us almost as traffic as the actual website. USPS, the official one, the impersonated USPS site received 1,128,000 queries, while the actual site got 1,181,000 queries between November and December. But this is continuing with a lot of folks faking and buying new domains like .shop, .xyz, .org.info. We spend a lot of money every year, and even on this show, I spend a lot of money every year buying variants of this domain. So it's just be careful when you're out there. Make sure when you're going to the website, you're going to the right one. Google says it blocked 2.28 million apps from the Google Play Store. The company said investment in better security features, updated policy, advanced machine learning, and application review process, and strengthening developer onboarding helped in the battle. But still, they blocked 2.28 million privacy-violating apps. That's a number. How many apps are on the Google Play Store to have them have killed 2.28 millions? The CISA has rolled out new guidelines to mitigate AI risk to U.S. critical infrastructure. The new guidelines categorize AI risk into three significant types: the utilization of AI and attack on infrastructure, target assaults on AI systems themselves, and failures within AI design and implementation that could jeopardize infrastructure operations. So the CISA guidelines advocate a four-part mitigation strategy that centers on a robust organizational culture centered around AI risk management. So, again, this is the first guideline that's come out by the CISA. You have a Peacock account? Well, it's getting a $2 price increase. The price hike starts on July 18th for new subscribers, while existing subscribers will see it on August 17th. So Peacock's going up $2. A leaked iPhone 16 case model teases bigger sizes for the Pro and Pro Max. So shared by X by Apple tipster Stoney Dickinson, a new iPhone 16 dummy unit picture displays all four rumored iPhone 16 models: the iPhone 16, 16 Plus, iPhone 16 Pro, and 16 Pro Max side by side in descending order and premiumness, and giving some actual dimensions. So it's going to 6.9. That's pretty big. So anyway, big change coming to iPhone 16. Your cases won't snap from one to another anymore. Ford's Blue Cruise hands-free system is under investigation after a fatal crash. So we're going to see more of this as more of these vehicles become so-called autonomous. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration Office of Defects said on Monday that it confirmed Blue Cruise was active in 2 crashes, 2 recent crashes that killed multiple people. One of the crashes happened in February in Texas. The other occurred in early April in Pennsylvania. They're the first known fatality resulting from crashes involving the use of Blue Cruise. The investigation into crashes ratcheted up the security in Blue Cruise, which is currently available in Mustang Mach-E, certain Ford F-150s, Explorers, and Expeditions. NTSB has already opened an investigation. So, link will be in the show note. Be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. Keep your eyes on the road. OpenAI will train its AI models on Financial Times journalism. This is a deal that ChatGPT makers latest with a media company. This is good. I like to see these deals come through. The Financial Times has become the latest news organization to strike a deal with OpenAI. In a joint announcement, Financial Times and OpenAI said that ChatGPT will use the FT journalism to train its AI models. Doesn't say how much. Neither company disclosed the financial terms. So I've always said they can use every article on Geek News Central, on Blueberry. Please, 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 because anything that we can use to help the model talk about the right ways to do podcasting, the better. Now, the next thing up is if you have kids that are 13 and older playing Roblox, teenagers 13 up can shop for goods inside virtual stores before getting products shipped to their house. Walmart thinks it's a good idea to let 13-year-olds buy in real-life items inside Roblox. Now, I'm not familiar with Roblox, but I know it's pretty popular. Available to children 13 up in the U.S. The latest addition to Walmart's discovered is an ILL commerce workshop featuring items created by partnered user-generated content creators, including... Oh, these are just weird names. But anyway, it will open a browser to Walmart online store. I guess they're going to get a virtual item along with a real item. Some of it includes like a stainless steel tumbler, on Bluetooth headphones, a crochet bag from No Boundaries. So be warning your kids not to be buying stuff unless they ask for permission. I've had that conversation a time or two in the past. MIT faculty, instructors, and students experiment with generative AI in teaching and learning at MIT's Festival of Learning 2024. Is anybody actually going to college right now, or is all these schools shut down? But anyway, panelists stress the importance of developing critical thinking skills while leveraging tech like generative AI. So, did it say what they did? One of the new assignments they developed, they asked students to generate cover letters using ChatGPT and critique the results from the prospective future hiring managers. So they gave them a bunch of tasks to do with AI and then critique the outputs. What else did they do? Generate, for example, can help with student-centered learning at the K-12 level. Encouraging educators to foster a learning experience where students can take ownership, take something that kids care about and they're passionate about, and they can discern whether generative AI might not be correct or trustworthy. So in other words, give them something that they can dissect themselves at the age level they are. This is a really interesting article out of MIT. So definitely put this on your read list, all of you, especially you educators out there. I've been telling my brother-in-law for a while now that generative AI is going to change everything, including education and how kids are trained. And so this is where they're looking for, this thing's basically slipping and not telling the truth. And that's probably a good thing to train for all of us to look for these types of outputs. And even in the newsletter that I'm creating from the show, those of you who are subscribed to the newsletter, you'll notice there's been a radical change to the newsletter. I have to go through and read that pretty close because every once in a while it gets something a little wrong. What do you say about the newsletter now? I know readership is up because it's the whole new format, and I think it's pretty comical, to be honest with you. The outputs, it's boy, I worked hard on that. So I'd love to hear your feedback as a listener. What do you think of the email that I'm sending to you now? What's new on Prime Video and Freebie in May 2024? That is linked up from lifehacker.com. Scientists are trying to figure out why methane gas is coming out of the ground on Mars. Probably shouldn't be. Methane often results from biological processes on Earth. Most of the gas comes from living creatures, cows. The American Space Agency, NASA, has been investigating methane levels on Mars in search for signs of current or past life. They know that they detected methane on Gale Crater, the only place where methane has been discovered. And they don't know why. So it says there's a lot of plot twist. And they're trying to come up with some explanations. The researchers theorize that all detected methane could be trapped or sealed under hardened pieces of salt in the Martian regolith. Regolith describes soil that contains rock and dust that sits on or below the surface. To say increase in temperatures might explain the difference in gas release. Something break loose, the Earth gets shaken, etc., and a little methane gets out, right? So we'll see. But if methane is trapped there, good for future. And of course, in what quantities we don't know. The next Apple Pencil could have haptic feedback, and it might land alongside the iPad Air 6. So those of you that like the Apple Pencil, I know that I've lost like 3 and refused to buy another one. Meta is going to face EU probe for not doing enough to stop Russian disinformation. So Brussels is about to open a probe on Facebook and Instagram as soon as today over concerns of social media giants failing to do enough to counter disinformation from Russia and other countries. So moderation does not go far enough. Again and again. Elon had a loss. Supreme Court rejects Elon's effort to get rid of his Twitter sitter from the SEC. Musk argued that a consent decree with the SEC violated his First Amendment rights, but the Supreme Court declined to hear the case. So he is going to have to continue to have his babysitter. So that continues. Austria is calling for rapid regulation as it hosts meetings on killer robots. Austria called on Monday for fresh efforts to regulate the use of AI in weapon systems that could create so-called killer robots. With AI tech advancing, weapon systems that could kill without human intervention are coming even closer, posing ethical and legal challenges. We cannot let this moment pass without taking action. Okay, so guess what? Are you going to get China to sign on? That's the problem. It's a new arms race. And still, nuclear weapons are still in that arms race Cold War that we're, seeing a renewed interest of stupidity. Elon has made a surprise visit to Beijing as Tesla's China-made cars pass data security rules. Local Chinese authorities removed restrictions on Tesla cars after the company's China-made vehicle passed the country's data security requirements. The breakthrough came as Tesla CEO Musk arrived in Beijing for an unexpected meeting with Chinese premier amid the first major auto show in the city in 4 years. And of course, the Musk visit to China also raised expectations that Tesla's driver assist software full self-driving would soon be available in the country. So he was over there to hobnob with the communists. Getter, GETI, pulls out of the United States, UK, Europe to focus on Turkey. 6,000 plus jobs in those 3 countries have been affected. So I've never heard of them here in the United States. You guys ever heard of Getter? Getir? Twilio, the Twilio co-founder, has bought The Onion. The former CEO of web comms tool provider Twilio has bought The Onion. And Jeff Lawson, who co-founded Twilio, declared on Twitter he bought the national treasure to save it from being stifled by poor commercial practices. Huh. Yes, I bought The Onion. The Onion's an institution, national treasure, and we need it, but its success is based on something different than most media companies. It has been stifled along most of the internet by Byzantine cookie dialogues, paywalls, bizarro belly fat ads, and clickbait. So he promised to introduce products, explore a new media over time. Meantime, he asked everyone to pitch in $1. Equin announced it made an Onion site last week. So I don't particularly cover the Onion. So this sucks in a big way. Verizon smartwatch plan gets a $5 per month increase. In a Thursday email, Verizon informed customers planned add-ons for the Apple Watch and other smartwatches will see a $5 per month increase effective June 3rd, raising costs from $10 a month to $15 a month on most plans. I'm not going to carry it. I'm not. It started at $5. They raised it to $10. Now it's going to $15. It's not worth it. I'll just hook my phone to Bluetooth. I'm not going to tie it to a cellular plan. No longer. Not going to do it. Not going to do it. They can pack sand. Getting too greedy. These companies are getting too greedy, ladies and gentlemen. You have to vote with your dollars. They're nickel and diming us to death. FCC fines AT&T, Sprint, T-Mobile, and Verizon nearly $200 million for illegally sharing location data. Good on them. The FCC said it found the carrier sold access to its customers' location information to aggregators who then resold such access information to third-party location-based service providers. The agency said the carriers effectively attempted to offload the responsibility to get customers' consent to share their location data with downstream recipients. The fines vary. T-Mobile, $80 million. Sprint, Sprint, because it merged, faced a $12 million fine. AT&T, $57 million. Verizon, $47 million. T-Mobile's and Verizon fines actually lower than was initially proposed by the agencies based on the response to the FCC original notice. So, care about your customers' privacy. And for those of you that are developers out there, Copilot Workspace is GitHub's take on AI-powered software engineering. And at its annual GitHub Universe Conference, GitHub announced Copilot Workspace, a dev environment that taps what GitHub describes as Copilot-powered agents to help developers brainstorm, plan, build, test, and run code. Now, I listened to a podcast, and let me see if I can find it for you all real quick before I get out of here today. And this is one that you all should listen to. Come on. How come you don't? Why are you not even? Why is it not syncing? It should know what I'm subscribed to. All right, let me look at my phone because the podcast app on my Mac is basically telling me to pack sand. So the show was, and this is a show that I would have never listened to otherwise. It was from the Ezra Klein Show. So the Ezra Klein Show has an episode that they interviewed Dario Amati. He's from he worked at OpenAI, but now he's over I'm pulling a brain fart here. Crap. Claude. This hour and 30-minute interview on April 12th is probably what I would say is the listen of the month. And any of you want to understand where this is going and how fast it's going, you need to listen to this podcast episode. I'll try to link it up in the show notes if I remember to pull it up tonight. But again, The title is "What If Dario Amati is Right About AI?" Again, the Ezra Klein Show, New York Times, 138-minute interview. There's about 30 minutes of it about how AI might kill us. So just be aware there. But what a listen. Oh my goodness. It will be the value you will get this out of this episode and give you something to listen to, because I'm not going to be here on Thursday. So please replace that, and I may send out some other episodes to listen to via the newsletter. So if you're not signed up for the newsletter yet, get signed up via geeknesscentral.com. Sign up for the newsletter so that, again, I don't spam you guys. You guys get very limited emails from me on that. So, but as always, your comments are appreciated. Geeknews@gmail.com, geeknews@gmail.com. And I got Andrew's, I've got Bob's, I got Keith's response. So I've got everybody's emails read. Geeknews@gmail.com. And of course, if you want to become an insider, geeknesscentral.com/insider. Your $2, $5, $10, $15, $20, or $25 monthly donation or one-time donation is greatly appreciated. And of course, don't forget about our sponsor, GoDaddy. And if you're looking for a web-based product domain or so forth, they're the place to start. Click on one of my promo codes and lock in your savings. It's been my pleasure to bring you a show. Again, sorry for no shows 3 in a row. It's just too much traveling, too much bouncing around, too much time change. It's going to be kind of a crazy month in May because I go to UK, I get back, I'm home a week, then I leave for UK, I'm home a week, and then I leave again. So, but May is going to be nuts. So we appreciate all your support for the show as we head into this crazy travel time for me. I definitely appreciate you all being here. Thank you for being part of the family. And we'll be back when I'm back. And pay attention on Facebook. I'll have some updates over there. And I am going to film my experience going to this event. So I will have a YouTube video for Beyond the Office. If you're not part of my Beyond the Office YouTube channel, definitely check it out. There's a new one up there about my my Unify Ubiquity installation at my home. So there's a good video there for you to watch as well. All right, everybody, thanks for being here. We'll see you in about a week and a half. It's been my pleasure bringing the show to you. Take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.